Dito sa Pilipinas, ang kasikatan ay may isang brutal na kabayaran, ang iyong pribadong buhay. Para sa mga pinakamakapangyarihang babae sa bansa, hindi sapat na ang bahay ay kanlungan lang. Kailangan, isa itong kuta. Nabubuhay tayo sa isang panahon ng mga drone at malalakas na lente kung saan ang isang simpleng kandado ay wala ng silbi. Mula sa taguan sa tuktok ng burol ni Regine Velasquez hanggang sa bakal na kastilyo ni Alice Eduardo, dadalhin namin kayo sa likod ng mga tarangkahan ng mga pinakabinabantayang lupain sa buong kapuluan. Ito ang mga tahanan na may mga panic room, salamin na hindi tinatablan ng bala at disenyong pangmilitar. Ito ang her status. Halina't buksan ang mga tarangkahan. Pangpito, ang kuta sa tuktok ng burol ni Regine Velasquez. Sisimulan natin ang pag-akyat sa mundo ng marangyang seguridad sa isang eksklusibong subdivision sa mataas na lugar sa Quezon City. Ito ang teritoryo ng Asia's Songbird, si Regine Velasquez, at ng kanyang asawang si Ogie Alcacid. Ang kanilang 3-story na modern contemporary na mansion ay nasa ikapitong pwesto dahil isa itong perpektong halimbawa ng tinatawag ng mga eksperto sa seguridad na elevated defense. Sa estratehiyang militar, ang pinakamahalagang posisyon ay ang pagiging nasa mas mataas na lugar. Ginagamit ng tahanan ni Regine ang mismong heograpiya ng lupa bilang kanyang pangunahing panangga. Nakatayo sa isang matarik na dalisdis, kitang-kita mula sa property ang lahat ng kalye sa paligid habang kasabay nito ay ginagawang napakahirap pasukin ang mismong bahay mula sa labas. Hindi basta-basta makaakyat ng bakod ang isang magnanakaw kung ang bakod na iyon ay nakapatong pa sa isang pader na nakabaon sa gilid ng isang bangin. Pero ang seguridad dito ay hindi lamang nakasalalay sa lupa, ito ay digital. Si Regine, na hayagang nagsabi tungkol sa kanyang pagkabalisa para sa kaligtasan ng pamilya, ay ginawang isang smart fortress ang tahanang ito. Ang mansyon ay may nakakabit na isang advanced na PLDT Home Fam Cam monitoring system, pero ito ay mas sopistikado pa kaysa sa mga karaniwang nanny cam. Isa itong kumpletong network ng surveillance na sumasakop sa bawat blind spot, bawat posibleng pasukan, at bawat pader sa paligid. Dahil dito, nananatiling may kabuuang kamalayan ang pamilya sa kanilang sitwasyon, binabantayan ang property mula sa kanilang mga telepono, nasa loob man sila ng kwarto o nasa isang world tour. At kung smart surveillance na rin lang ang usapan, hindi mo kailangan ng sikat na arkitekto para gawing kuta ang sarili mong bahay. Nag-link kami ng isang top-tier na 4K security system dito mismo sa screen. Idadagdag na lang ang tag. Mayroon itong parehong klase ng AI motion tracking at night vision na ginagamit sa mga maluluhong ari-arian na ito na nagbibigay sa iyo ng kapayapaan ng isip na parang pang-militar nang hindi na kailangang gumastos sa renovation. Tingnan ang product tag ngayon para masigurong ligtas ang iyong teritoryo. At magbalik tayo sa kuta sa tuktok ng burol ni Regine Velasquez. Ang arkitektura na idinisenyo ng mga kilalang Alario Sisters at ni Architect Anthony Nazareno ay nagpapakita ng perpektong balanse sa pagitan ng pagiging bukas at ng taktikal na pagiging pribado. Bagamat ang bahay ay may malalawak na salamin upang makita ang tanawin, ang pagkakagawa sa mga ito ay may estratehiya. Kinakalkula ang mga anggulo upang maiwasan ang anumang linya ng paningin mula sa antas ng kalye. Nakikita mo ang labas, ngunit hindi ka makikita ng publiko sa loob. Sa loob, ang mismong pagiging patayo ng bahay ay nagsisilbing isa pang layer ng seguridad. Ang pag-install ng isang pribadong elevator, na orihinal na nilayon para sa kanyang yumaong ama, ay gumaganap na ngayon bilang isang ligtas na panloob na sistema ng transportasyon. Sakaling may makapasok sa ground floor, maaaring lumipat ang pamilya sa mas mataas at mas ligtas na mga lugar nang hindi dumadaan sa mga bukas at lantad na hagdanan. Si Regine Velasquez ay nagtayo ng isang pugad na mataas, tago, at laging nagmamasid. Panganim, ang bahay sa loob ng bahay na compound ni Sharon Cuneta. Dahil kapag ikaw na ang megastar, hindi ka lang basta bibili ng bahay. Gagawa ka ng sarili mong soberanong estado. Ang dambuhalang tirahan ng pamilya ni Sharon Cuneta sa Mandaluyong ay pumang-anim dahil binago nito ang konsepto ng isang urban compound. Imagine a sprawling estate covering 5 consolidated lots. Its sheer size is a form of defense, a buffer of space that most homes in the city can only dream of. In the business of security, you see, distance is the same as time. The deeper the main house is buried within the property, away from the street, the more time her protection detail has to neutralize a threat. Let's call it what it is. Sharon's home is a citadel in the middle of a city, completely enclosed by imposing walls so high they erase any line of sight from the outside. You could drive by this place every single day for a year, and you would never have a clue about the life unfolding inside. But the true genius of its design is the concept of a house within another house. Sharon has been building her own private wing, a supposed she-cave that is, for all intents and purposes, a separate, self-sufficient bunker attached to the main mansion. This is not just some luxurious suite. This is a sterile environment. It has its own facilities, its own air supply, and undoubtedly its own biometric locks. It serves as her ultimate safe room, where the megastar can completely seal herself off from the traffic of her own household, from staff, and even from guests. The security for her movements is just as chillingly precise. The estate holds a massive parking facility in its basement, for people who live their lives as potential targets. The brief moment of moving from a car to a building is where everything can go wrong. An underground arrival court completely removes this risk. Sharon's car enters the compound, disappears into the ground, and the heavy gates seal shut above her before she even thinks of stepping out. Her own updates reveal a quality of construction designed to stand for generations. We are looking at thick, reinforced concrete walls that have a double function. They provide soundproofing for her recording studio, and they provide ballistic protection from the outside world. Sharon Cuneta has created a legacy home that guards the precious time of SAH, one asset more precious than any other, her own illusion of peace. Number 5. The Invisible Watchtower of Catherine Bernardo. We travel now to the rolling hills of Antipolo to see a mansion that proves you don't need a windowless tomb to be safe. Catherine Bernardo's Casa Bernardo lands at number 5 for mastering the art of transparency, creating a fortress that feels open but is, in reality, on complete lockdown. At first, the house looks dangerously exposed. It is a magnificent work of modern design, with glass panels stretching from floor to ceiling, giving a godlike view of the city skyline. However, this is where beautiful design meets brutal engineering. The glass in a house of this level is almost certainly multi-laminated, impact-resistant glazing. This is the kind of material built to shrug off typhoon debris and, more critically, any attempt at forced entry. In effect, it transforms the windows into invisible walls of steel. The property's greatest shield, though, is its location. Sitting high on a hill within a guarded subdivision, the house itself becomes a panopticon. A panopticon is a structure where the person inside can watch everything below, but no one from below can see them. Thanks to the steep slope and the carefully planned landscaping of mature trees and plants, the line of sight from the public road is completely cut off. Catherine can see any vehicle or person approaching long before they ever reach her front gate. The process of entry is automated and watched by countless eyes. The main gate is a statement of power, and the driveway is surely lined with high-resolution cameras that record every single arrival. But the real genius, the truly insidious part of its defense, is how the space inside is compartmentalized. The entire structure was conceived with a deliberate pathway that isolates the areas meant for public eyes and entertainment. From the studio, the lanai, and the pool, all the way to the sanctum of the family's private life. That private elevator. That's the bottleneck, the kill zone. Getting to the upper floors where they sleep is practically impossible, meaning that while guests or staff mill about in the main receiving area, the family's personal quarters are sealed off, an impenetrable and isolated keep. Of course, the house is outfitted with smart locks, automated blinds capable of plunging the entire house into darkness in mere seconds, and a fully integrated alarm system. What Catherine Bernardo has truly built is a bastion for our paranoid age, where the walls are invisible until, suddenly, they are all too real. Number 4. The brutalist bunker belonging to Small Loud. If you've ever wondered what a castle looks like in this century, then you must look at the home of Small Lauda. Securing the number 4 spot, this mansion is a masterpiece of brutalism, a design philosophy that worships structural invincibility over any other concern. While other famous personalities fret about the telephoto lenses of paparazzi, Small Lauda's home was built to defy the laws of physics themselves. Its entire aesthetic is dictated by colossal, cantilevered blocks of reinforced concrete. In the pecking order of construction materials, concrete is the absolute monarch of defense. It gives the structure thermal mass, keeping the interior cool, But the real point is that it renders the building almost completely indestructible. It scoffs at fire, it sneers at earthquakes, and it shrugs off small arms fire. The look of the home, with those oppressive overhangs and deep-set windows, is actually a tactical feature. The overhangs drastically limit the angles of attack for any prying eyes or even projectiles, while the recessed windows make it a nightmare to see anything inside from the street. This isn't a home. It's a citadel masquerading as a modern art installation. The very idea of a panic room isn't just a room. It's embedded into the building's DNA. The house is riddled with hidden service elevators and a network of back-of-house corridors. Sure, they're designed for the efficiency of the household staff, but in a lockdown scenario, they transform into vital escape conduits. These secret passages allow the family to navigate between floors and even exit the property without ever stepping foot in the main atrium or near the grand staircase, which is precisely where any intruder would be looking first. The mansion's basement and its lower levels are a fortress buried within a fortress. Protected by the earth itself and the monolithic concrete slab of the ground floor, these sections offer a sanctuary, safe from any threat from the sky, or the worst kinds of environmental calamities. On top of all that, its very location serves as another layer of invisible fortification. It stands inside one of the most exclusive and ridiculously expensive villages in the entire country, which means the house enjoys the protection of a neighborhood security apparatus that is notoriously aggressive and mercilessly vetted. But take away the guards, and the house remains an immovable rock. Small Laude has erected a home that makes one thing terrifyingly clear: I am untouchable and I am not going anywhere. Number 3. The art-filled vault of Heart Evangelista. Heart Evangelista doesn't merely reside in a house. She operates from within a curator's vault. Her mansion claims the number 3 position because it masterfully fuses high-fashion sensibilities with protocols designed for protecting high-value assets. When your residence is a repository for millions of dollars in Hermes Birkin bags, priceless vintage jewelry, and irreplaceable couture gowns, your security isn't just about protecting people. It's about guarding an inventory. Heart's defensive philosophy is built on layers. The outermost layer is the community itself, a heavily guarded old money enclave sealed off from the world. The security in this village is practically a private military force, tasked to weed out anyone who looks out of place. But for Hart, that's just the first line of defense. Her entire property is wrapped in a smart grid, a spiderweb of CCTVs that leaves no angle unwatched, no shadow unchecked, no pathway unmonitored. The real genius, however, is how the home's panic room is disguised as the very pinnacle of luxury. That walk-in closet she loves to showcase in her vlogs, the one she treats like a shrine, it's engineered like a bank vault. In mansions built for the ultra-rich, it's common practice to secretly line these closets with steel mesh or bulletproof panels. The doors are solid, heavy barriers, unlocked only by fingerprint or a secret passcode. Should a home invasion ever occur, that closet instantly becomes the single safest spot in the entire house, a reinforced windowless bunker where she can seal herself inside, surrounded by her most prized assets. The house itself is a masterclass in controlled access. You don't simply wander into Hart's living room. You must pass through layers of security, receiving rooms, foyers, and gates that operate like airlocks on a spaceship. A courier with a parcel or a stylist with a couture gown will only ever touch the outermost layer of her world. They will never breach the inner sanctum. Hart's security is elegant, almost invisible, but total. Her house is more than a home. It's a fortress protecting not just a global tastemaker, but an entire empire of art and legacy. Number 2. The private citadel of Jinky Pacquiao. We now head south to General Santos City, to the immense estate of Jinky Pacquiao. This property clinches the second spot because it functions less like a home and more like an embassy or a restricted government compound. When your husband is the legendary Manny Pacquiao, a hero to the nation, a former senator, and a man who holds the wealth of a developing country, the very concept of security warps into something else entirely. We are far beyond discussing mere burglar alarms. We are talking about sheer manpower. The Gensan Mansion is a true military-style compound. It is hidden behind towering, imposing walls that offer zero visibility from the street. Those gates are anything but ornamental. They are active checkpoints, manned 24 hours a day by a professional security team. These men are typically former soldiers or police officers, heavily armed and experts in close quarters protection. The mansion's very architecture betrays a siege mentality. It's been said the windows are fitted with ballistic-grade glass, tough enough to stop rounds from a high-caliber rifle. The enormous size of the property enables a military tactic known as defense in depth. An intruder would first need to get over the massive outer wall, then survive crossing open grounds where they are a clear target for security teams, get past the inner defenses, and only then could they even try to get inside the main building. The entire estate is also built for total self-sufficiency. In an area known for unstable power grids or the threat of civil disturbance, the Pacquiao Fortress can go off-grid. It is equipped with industrial-strength generators and its own water supply, enabling the family to lock down the entire compound and live comfortably for weeks, needing nothing from the outside world. Inside, the floor plan is a deliberate maze, with separate wings for the family, their guests, and their staff. This layered design ensures the family's personal chambers are buried deep within the most secure core of the fortress. Jinky Pacquiao's residence is a stark monument to the price of unbelievable fame. It seems when you become a national treasure, you are forced to live in a beautiful prison. Number 1. The Steel Citadel of Alice Eduardo. And so, we have reached the pinnacle, our number 1, the most intensely fortified, structurally overwhelming, and masterfully engineered home in all of the Philippines. The private residence of the Woman of Steel, construction tycoon Alice Eduardo. Alice Eduardo is the force behind Sta Elena Construction, the very same firm that lays the foundations for the country's most massive casinos, power plants, and bridges. So, when she set out to create her personal sanctuary in Forbes Park, she didn't just call any regular home builder. She brought in the same industrial strength, technology, and raw materials that her company uses to erect national infrastructure. This residence is less a home and more the ultimate bunker. The foundation is driven so deep with steel piles, it punches right into the bedrock, the exact technique that keeps skyscrapers standing and makes them immune to earthquakes. Its skeleton is a web of heavy steel beams and reinforced concrete, engineered far beyond what any residential code would ever demand. But all that is merely the shell. The security systems are what elevate it to a league of its own. This house operates with a corporate-grade security command center. This is not some tablet you mount on a wall. It is a dedicated nerve center, where trained personnel keep watch over thermal imaging cameras, a web of motion sensors, and a perimeter defense system that is hardwired directly to the village's own private security force. The resort-style pool in the back is gorgeous, but in a world-ending scenario, it becomes a gigantic emergency reservoir for water. The power grid is supported by an industrial generator set, a machine so immense it could power the mansion's elevators, its centralized air conditioning, and all its security grids for an indefinite time without ever needing to refuel. One can only assume the windows are made of high-impact ballistic-rated glass, built to shatterproof specifications. The doors are designed to be solid, imposing, and completely unbreachable. Even the carefully planned landscaping serves a double purpose, offering aesthetic beauty while strategically concealing the home's structural weak points. Alice Eduardo has, in effect, built herself an impenetrable civilian fortress. It is massive, it is permanent, and it was conceived to withstand anything from the most catastrophic super typhoon to a full-blown collapse of society. It is, without a doubt, the reigning champion of personal security. This proves that the greatest luxury is not wealth, but the absolute, unshakable knowledge that you are safe. These titans have made it clear that true luxury is no longer about having marble floors. It is about possessing the undeniable certainty of your own safety. From the brutalist concrete architecture of Small Loud to the tactical family compound of Jinky, Pacquiao, these private estates are engineered to outlast any catastrophe. Now, the question is for you. In which of these fortresses would you place your trust when it all falls apart? Let us know your choice in the comments. If you appreciated this exclusive look inside, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the private empires of the elite. Stay safe out there.